What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to JT's Mixtape. This is episode number 49. And if you guys are enjoying these podcasts, please give me a 5-star review on either Apple or Spotify. And if you're watching on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. Thank you.
Come closer, my child.
What's going on, y'all? This podcast is brought to you by Modern Roots Life. Modern Roots Life is a Christian-owned and operated company, and it's bringing real health back to its roots. They offer powerful, all-natural health supplements such as beef liver, cod liver oil, beef tallow, magnesium, and mineral-rich salts, all sourced the way God intended. Clean, simple, and from the earth. So whether you're looking to boost your energy, restore mineral balance, or just fuel your family with real nourishment, Modern Roots Life has got you covered. Guys, in this community, we're trying to get healthy in our mind, in our body, and our spirit. So don't neglect your health. If you want more information, check out modernrootslife.com and check the link in my description. You know, people often ask me how they can support me. Well, I think it's pretty cool if you can support me by supporting the people who support me, and you get something in return. And being healthy is a pretty good return. Well, I got the whole crew together today. Once again, I'm your host, JT. I've got Demon Racers, my buddy Brian over here. What's going on, Brian?
Oh, doing Rapture great, and you know I've not missed it, but I don't think anybody else has, so I'm doing all right.
And we got Aaron. We see over here, Tune Thy Heart. He looks like he's actually
in the clouds.
He's doing it remotely.
Clouds right now. I'm reporting live from the clouds.
Yeah, he's recording remotely from heaven. So of course, Brian and I are still here on Earth, and we've been left behind.
Yeah, I found myself a nice space in the clouds to chill while I talk to you guys before he finishes taking me up. Yeah.
You know, so it's funny. I had that conversation with my brother yesterday. I called him, and he told me he was taking the phone call from heaven, and he said, "Well, you're not up here." I quoted a famous TikTok, and I'm going to play that right now. This is what I told him.
If you get to heaven, write this down. You get to heaven, and you don't find me there, you have gone to hell. That's not heaven.
That never gets old.
That's
dude.
exactly what I told him. I said, "Yeah, if you're up in heaven and I'm not there, that ain't heaven, brother. That's not heaven."
You've gone to hell.
You know what? So I like that African pastor. I don't know if that guy's a prophet or not, but I like that guy a lot better than the one that we played last week, who was so sure he was speaking for God that the rapture was going to be on September 23rd. Well, as today we're recording this evening time on the East Coast of September 24th. So we said last week we weren't going to be able to say for sure if he was wrong. Today we can say for sure that he was wrong.
Yeah, for sure.
He was even live streaming with friends. Like, he's like, "Should we take a break?"
Was he?
You know what? Yeah, you know, we should play that video. This is yeah. So
he was live streaming, hoping that his live stream would cut out.
Yeah, he was doing a live stream yesterday.
How many followers did he have?
I have no idea. Believe it or not, I had no idea who this guy was until like last week, and then I hope I don't have to hear much from him after this. But yeah.
I wonder if he gained followers and people are like, "It's okay, we thought so too. We'll follow you though." You know what I mean? I wonder if he actually gained followers from it.
Bro, we're gonna get into that because yes, that kind of stuff is real. That stuff is happening, and I think that's the more heartbreaking thing is that the people who listen to these people, and then, like I said, Aaron and I compared it to Q, where Q sends these things about 2 weeks, all the time. It's just like they keep moving the goalpost back, and then all the people still say, "Yeah, nothing can stop what's coming. right?
Trust
and it's
the
the same
plan.
thing. It's exactly the same thing with the rapture. So yeah, check this
Wait,
video.
did you see the Trump post where he said nothing can stop what's coming, and it had the globe behind him that was like on fire?
No, he didn't.
He did. On his X account, he posted a photo of him like this, like with his hands up, and a globe behind him that's like burning, kind of looking like there's like some, like the earth is like on fire or something. He has a cross in his hand, and it says nothing can stop what's coming. I don't
When was
know.
this?
On his X account, just recently, I guess. Yeah, just Google Trump. Nothing can stop what's coming.
Let me see.
Dude, I don't know if it was valid because I saw it and somebody else posted of him posting it on X. So I don't know, but it looked pretty legit. Yeah, that is. The world will soon understand nothing can stop what is coming. Look at that.
I mean, it looks like to me that, like, literally Q made that meme.
Well, there's a Q in his hand. That's a Q and a
I
cross.
know, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, Q must have made this meme and Trump shared it.
Why would Trump? Oh my gosh, this is like, dude, this is like feeding into the Q nonsense. Like Trump's now,
He knows exactly.
he's now a
what
part
doing.
of Q for sure, but it's like a total troll thing. Like, I mean, come on.
He knows exactly what he's
Well,
doing.
Is that really him? There's no way he shared that. Is that really what he shared?
Yeah.
Bro,
Yeah, that's
that can't
On
on True
Truth.
Social. I don't have True Social. It's too stupid.
real. Yeah, I don't have it either.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. I mean, I think, the Q people love Trump.
Bro.
Those might be the few people that still actually believe in what he's doing, because again, it doesn't matter what he does, because there's something going on behind the scenes, that the white hats are doing all this and everything's going to be fine. Don't worry. Got the military tribunals. We got all the things that are going to happen.
But people still thinking Q.
The white hats. The
The
white
white
hats are
hats.
going to save us.
It's unbelievable. Again, the similarities between the Q movement and the pre-trib rapture movement
And the Charlie's Not Dead movement.
is uncanny. Hold that thought. We're going to get into that later. This is not a fully Charlie Kirk free show, but this is going to be interesting. You guys will like this. I'm going to push this to the end of the show because I wanted to concentrate on this. Now let's get to the false prophet Jonathan. Check this out.
You are $1,000,000,000. This day we will be raptured. I give you my word. I'll start by saying, I give you his word and I give you my word. If you say he's not coming, you are mistaken. The Lord is coming. He's on his way, He's on his way with a host of angels, And this is the day, 23rd of September, 23rd of September. That's what is the Lord who said to me, you need to do a live. That's why I called out this live.
So we got to have childlike faith, y'all. Don't let the flesh or your carnal mind get you down, or demons whispering, because this is going to happen. God does not lie. Why would he let all these thousands of people get all these confirmations for us to be ashamed?
A few moments later. Much later.
I don't know. Let me say 23rd, 6 hours, 6 o'clock. Do you want to? I don't know. Do you feel like taking a break? I wonder. I wonder how God works this out. But what I know is the 2 days. But I wonder how he works this out. Like in terms of the minute. He knows the minute and the second, because at any second,
You want to know what I think?
One eternity later.
Thank you to everyone for joining us, and thank you for your service to our Lord Jesus Christ. Thank you so much, and may God bless you. See you tomorrow.
See you guys.
Please keep waiting with us. He is coming. Please keep waiting with us. He is coming. 23rd, 24th. One of these 2 days, the Lord knows. Thank you. God bless you.
All right, guys. Bye, guys. Love you.
Amen.
Bye-bye.
Talk to you later.
Bye-bye.
But I mean, you can't even make that up. So they go on all the way past midnight on the 23rd to the next day. And then they end with, all right, I'll see you guys tomorrow.
And halfway through, he switches up and goes, all I know is that it's these 2 days. And it's like, no, dude, you were going hard on the 23rd all the way up until 11:45 p.m., dude. Listen, and I want to be clear really quick before we keep going. I'm not laughing at these people. I know it might seem like that. I'm not laughing at them. I don't know. It's crazy to me how serious these people are. Like I borderline almost can't even process the fact that they really truly believe it, like, so wholeheartedly. And I think my laughter is like my way of dealing with like how confusing it is to me. So I do want to apologize because I'm not laughing at these people. It's just the whole premise of claiming something so bluntly and blatantly and carrying that torch so hard, even right up until the final moments when it's clearly not going to happen. I can't comprehend it.
Yeah.
So like, I just can't wrap my brain around it. So laughing is like my way of coping with it. But
My heart breaks for these people, honestly, and it's really sad. Like I see it, and it's sad to me. Like I look at it, and like I can't believe that our society has come to a point where we are so deceived that these poor people are, on this call waiting for the truth of some lie because they're so desperate. I just see a bunch of brokenhearted individuals. It makes me want to cry for them, honestly. It's like not like I just don't even. I feel pretty terrible for them because it's like it just shows how deceived our Christian brothers and sisters are at this point, and how degenerate our society has ran in this direction of Christian apostasy, or whatever you want to call it, just falsities that have just preluded into the truth of Jesus Christ and the truth of healing. Those people probably never cast out a demon in their day. They probably never healed nobody. They've never seen a miracle. They don't even know what it is. They're just desperate looking for some kind of truth or answer. It makes me like really sad for them, actually, honestly. I kind of want to cry for them. That's about it.
I think that's not the way I see it biblically. These people need to be called out. They need to be marked, and they need to be unfollowed on social media. They need to not be listened to anymore.
No, I'm talking about the people in the group, not the leader of that. The leader is deceived. Right. And like he's just...
Well, but here's the thing, Brian.
Yeah.
I'll push back a little bit. I do, obviously. I'm upset. I'm more upset for the unbeliever who sees this foolishness.
Oh, yeah.
My heart hurts for them the same way.
Well, yeah, that's...
then they have no reason to believe because this is idiotic. Is doing this. Because it's like them saying that God told me this. And as we played that video last week, he was saying, this is from the mouth of God. And so I want to read this verse in Ezekiel 13:3. Thus says the Lord God, woe to the foolish prophets who follow their own spirit and have seen nothing. Here's another verse, and this is a little condensed verse. This is Jeremiah 23:30 and 32. And it says, behold, I am against prophets, declares the Lord, who steal my words, who prophesy lying dreams, lead my people astray by their lies.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so when you're saying those kind of things, because you really think about it, like in these contexts, especially in Ezekiel and Jeremiah, they're saying that judgment is coming. And these false prophets are saying, no, it's going to be fine. And so what they're telling him is what the people want to hear, for one. But sadly, if they listen to Jeremiah, if they listen to Ezekiel, who are actually God's prophets, who are not trying to tickle their ears, itch their itching ears, they're saying, leave this place. Just like Jesus told the apostles, when you see the army surrounding Jerusalem, if somebody tells you it's going to be fine, and I think that's exactly what Paul's saying, when they say peace and safety, the false prophets were saying peace and safety. It's going to be fine. God's going to take care of us. Jesus told them, go when you see that. And that's exactly what Jeremiah said. The one who left the city, Nebuchadnezzar was willing to spare. They were going to get away with their lives. They were going to have their stuff, but they would get away with their lives. But the people who stayed, obviously it was like the worst time ever. It was worse for Jerusalem than it was for Sodom and Gomorrah in both captivities, because at least Sodom and Gomorrah went away quick. Like those had those long sieges. People were eating the babies, doing all the starving, doing all kinds of horrible things. But yeah, the point of that is that the people who follow these people and listen to them, the more heartbreaking thing is when you see the comments Like, go into the comment sections, these people, when they're kind of giving their half apologies about steering people in the wrong direction, the people will be saying, you don't have anything to apologize for. Don't stop talking about the rapture, because you can just tell me it's next month, and I'll still be watching all your
next
videos.
year.
I'll still be sharing
Next year,
Or
next
but I mean,
September.
no, the craziest thing, dude,
They were
is
off by a year, JT. I mean, don't you know?
I remember there was this guy. I was just doing a podcast with somebody, and I did a live stream on TikTok last night, and with our friend Jordan from Instagram, and we were talking about, like, I was saying, like, every September somebody's been saying this, and the worst one was, I think it was 2022. There was this guy named Cool Cat on there, and he like had predicted a rapture, I want to say like 4 months in a row, and it was like I could not believe, like I said, this is my first experience like with the social media for that year, doing it live and seeing the reactions of people on TikTok, and I'm like, how do they have any followers after you predict the rapture date wrong once?
I don't
Much
understand
less
either.
2, 3, 4 times.
Unless you're following someone specifically for entertainment, how, and I'm really not trying to be mean, but unless you're following someone for entertainment only, after they get something like this wrong, like, you should be ashamed of yourself for continually going to that person for any kind of advice whatsoever about anything, especially biblically. Like, that's on you. If you want to keep taking someone's biblical advice after they get something this wrong, claiming something this serious, like, that's on you. And it that hurts my heart too, because it's like, how broken do you have to be to want to continue taking advice from somebody that gets something so wrong? At what point in time do you step back and go, okay, well, if they were this wrong about this, and I was this wrapped up in this because I wanted this so bad. First of all, why do you want this so bad? That's the first question. Why do you want it to happen right now so bad? I'll be the first to tell you guys, like, I don't have depression anymore, but every day I wake up, and right after I thank God for giving me another day, I think to myself, oh, it's another day, right? Like, it doesn't matter how great things are. It doesn't matter how many people I have in my life that love me or that I love them. I do make the best of it, and I look for new ways to minister and to share the gospel every single day. But I don't want to be here. Like, I don't want to be here. I want to be in the presence of Jesus. Like, that's it. That's what I want. Like, I can't stand this world. And so it's like, I understand that perspective of wanting the rapture to happen and for wanting him to come back for us. I get that. But that's not how this is all gonna pan out. That's not how it's all gonna work. So, like, we do need to be prepared. We do need to be, prepared to endure to the end and to continue on. And so it's like, why do you guys want it so bad? First of all, ask yourselves that. After you get the answer to that question, then it's going to be, so what are you getting from these people? Like, what are they feeding you and what are they teaching you? Because if they want that so bad that they're misleading you into believing that not only is there a pre-tribulation rapture that's going to take place in the first place, but it's going to happen any day, like, you clearly have your hope in the wrong place. Not just doctrinally, but people-wise. The people you're taking your advice from. The people that you're taking, that you're receiving these morsels from. Like, switch it up. Pray about it all. If I'm that person, whether it's the person making the content or the person following the people making that content, I'm spending some serious time in prayer right now. Like, you should be fasting, you should be praying, and you should be seeking him so diligently, so much harder and deeper than you ever have before, to figure out where you're going wrong, where you've been going wrong, who you should be following, and maybe whether or not you need to reread the scriptures and with a new lens.
Yeah, 100%.
Maybe consider the little season also. I'm just
yeah. Well, I think the main thing is I think it's important that it's like how you consume this kind of social media stuff. I always like to tell people, I don't know everything. don't fully trust me. Be Bereans.
of course we don't.
When I quote the scriptures, look back, see if I'm reading in context, see if I got everything right. And I also, when I try to make videos, I try to get people to think for themselves. And I can tell you some news and I can tell you something interesting, but it's up to you to decipher it. And so you take that to the Lord. And then when you have the opposite of that, you have these certain accounts and they're just telling you what to believe. And it's like that. They're being spoon-fed. And it's like, you better make sure you have the right shepherd when you're being fed like that. If you're being led around. I give God, the Holy Spirit, a lot more credit than that I can plant seeds in people's lives. And I know that God transformed me. He can transform you. And
Of course.
I'm no better than anyone else. But, I want to, before we go further into it, I want to play this one video because I think it's important to kind of get where the righteous anger comes from about what these people have done.
So if you're on Rapture talk, that shit is so real. And I mean, these people genuinely believe that this shit is happening today. They think Jesus is coming today. My mother is a part of this group. She has been sending me videos for months. She wrote me and all my siblings letters, like begging and asking us to make sure that we're on the right side of history. It's like scary. It like actually breaks my heart because she thinks that this is real. And she sounds insane. And I literally can't even have a conversation with her because like she's so defensive about it. Like, but she sounds insane, dude. She's awake right now. It's 5 a.m. She's awake right now praying about him coming. Oh, Lord.
See, that's sad. That's actually heartbreaking.
Christians are not supposed to sound insane.
No, dude. Well, I mean, it depends.
Yeah, I think a little bit. It says we'll be hated by the world.
Was insane.
We'll
I'm
be
sure.
peculiar. That's not fruit of the Spirit, is looking insane.
Insanity is-
Even think
insanity is
about
not
what
fruit of the
Paul
Spirit.
talks about speaking tongues in church. He was talking about how it's not meant for everyone to do it at one time because he's like, there's kind of an order to things. God's
Yeah,
not the
you
God
gotta
of
have an interpreter.
confusion.
Yeah,
and
but
you're
the
not
people
supposed to
came
be-
out with
you-
tongues and were like, "Hey, are they not like they look like they're drunk?" And they thought they were crazy. So
Well, the point is they were speaking different people's languages, and the people who understood them knew what they were saying. The point of it being is that insanity is not a fruit of the Spirit, not acting crazy. And I think that, yeah, I mean, from the perspective I got from that girl, I don't know if she was a Christian at all, but she's looking at her mom, and she doesn't want what her mom has.
Mm-hmm.
But
Right?
what her mom
And then
has
so
is not true Christian faith. It's not love. It's not unity. It's not peace. It's not hope. It's not a promise. It's void. It's empty. It's believing in the Bible and just the biblical text, not the Spirit of God. It's not believing in the Word of God. It's not believing in the unity of the brethren. She obviously has a broken relationship with her mother, and it's probably stemming from some religious nonsense. You know what I mean? So like whatever her mom's got ain't a good representation of Christ.
Well, if her mom read the Bible, she would know that this pre-trib rapture stuff is just not in it. I mean, that's the irony here is that, that some of our biggest critics are the pre-tribbers.
And they haven't
they'll
read
say,
the Bible deep
you
enough.
can easily debunk the little season. The little season is in the Bible. I have to remind that of people. It's like, it's not a theory. It's like, it's a question is, are we in it? But it's totally biblical. You know what's not biblical? Is that you could disappear based on somebody telling you could one day. That's not biblical. Again, if there was a rapture, it was after the tribulation, before God's wrath was poured out, somewhere in that range. Jesus literally says, when he talks about the angels coming to gather, he says, directly after the tribulation of those days, this happens. So again, Paul says at the last trumpet, it's not a random trumpet ceremony in Jerusalem like these people are predicting. And I think that's what I kind of want to get into is the fact that I try not to cause a lot of division just by our own interpretations of the Bible. But these people are not really using the Bible. They're using the Bible in very selective ways. And they're using many other things in very selective ways, like astrology. They're using these Jewish feasts. They're using numerology. They're using dreams. They're using all kinds of things that, guys, it appears to be some form of witchcraft. It's so new agey. Them saying, I saw a license plate that said 923 on it. I saw a clock that said 923. I saw this when it said, and it's like,
that's called divination. That's the definition of it. Exactly. It's divining. That's divining an answer out of something. That's literally Christian witchcraft. I talk about this quite often.
Well, yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. It's like the
part of manifestation.
The more you know, the more you know that the more that there is an allure to numerology, right? Like the more you've learned about it. Because now when I know what kind of numbers mean, I see them all over the place. And I try not to ever let it affect what I ever think and what I do, because that's the scary part. Because you're like, oh, I'm seeing 111 a lot. I'm seeing 1111 a lot. I'm seeing all these random numbers. And if that ever starts influencing your decision on things, that's scary, right? But it's like, you could see how people could say, oh, this is my lucky number. This is what I do. And this is... Guys, that's called divination. That's not a Christian thing to do.
That's the definition of divination, by the way. It literally says in the Bible, it says, do not look to the birds to plant your field for the omens. It says, do not look to omens to plant your field. It literally is talking about this in the Bible. It's saying like, don't, because people used to wait for a bird to land in their field before they would plant their crops. They'd wait till a bird hit their field. And so the Bible literally talks about this and says, don't do that. You're not supposed to look for omens. You're not to look for interpretation of omens. This is interpretation of signs. This is literally divination. Divination means pulling the divine out of the ordinary. Okay, that's divination. So you saw something ordinary, and then you're drawing some divination out of it, some divine purpose out of it. Like when God does stuff, it's undeniably God. Like I've seen a lot of miracles, guys. I've dealt with a lot of things that you would be like, what? That's insane. But it's undeniably God at a certain point. Like I don't need to sit here and go like, oh, the clock looked like that. That's divination, guys. That's what it is.
Yeah, it needs no proof. You know that it is.
Yeah, I don't have to just go, oh, this is God. You know, his ways are mysterious, brother. You just don't know. His ways are mysterious.
All right, well, check out this video. So this is what I'm talking about. So if you guys see an example of this.
I'm telling you right now, don't do it. Do not take it. Now, before I begin with this video, just disclaimer, this video is going to be a 9/23/24 confirmation. So for those who are not interested, those who do not believe in a pre-tribulation rapture, or for those who are just thinking that nothing's going to happen next week, please just do you and I a favor. Please just scroll by. Please just scroll by. Now, for those who are interested in this video, in this confirmation, let's talk about this. All right.
Confirmation.
So, The Bait of Satan, which just so happens to be a Christian book that describes how offense serves as a trap by Satan to hinder believers' spiritual growth and sever their relationship with God and others.
That's kind of true.
Destructive emotional.
Yeah, well, we'll get into it. I'm gonna have to fast forward some of this video.
Unforgiveness, betrayal, and isolation, while emphasizing the necessity of humility, forgiveness, and rest. So now, of course, you may be asking, why am I showing you this picture right here? Well, it's because it's part of this 9/23 confirmation that happened 2 weekends ago on the 6th, the weekend of the full moon, the blood moon. Okay, so.
But yeah, I want to just stop it right there because we can talk about it a little bit. Is that, so he goes to the bookstore to buy this book. And in the way he's presenting, and obviously, if you're not into this rapture thing, be gone, because obviously it doesn't really hold up to scrutiny. So don't bum me out by saying it's not true. So then he's saying that this is confirmation. Like, what does confirmation mean?
I don't know what his confirmation means.
Confirmation would mean that, like, so when these people now try to say that they did not predict the rapture, they did not say the specific date. If I said, hey, the rapture is going to happen 9/23, and I say, and I just got confirmation of it. Did I not prophesy that it was going to come?
Oh yeah,
9/23?
Sure. Yeah, but what?
And then, so just think about that. What I mentioned though. So numerology and astrology. So he goes to the bookstore, getting a book called The Bait of Satan on a blood moon, and then he starts to see things.
Is that what he's going to get into?
Well, no, I mean that's what he just said. I mean that's what he's saying. He said on the 6th of September. On the 6th of September, he was saying, which was the night of the blood moon.
The weekend of the blood moon.
Oh yeah. But he saw something though.
Well, no, well that's what we're going to get into.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
This video is long, so yeah, we'll
well, he's doing witchcraft. That's divination. Yeah.
Bibles. She grabbed one. We were walking to the front to buy it. Then I looked at it and it was $80. I'm like, well, we can't buy that. What in the world? Take that back. But on my way back, put it back in the section where the Bibles were. This caught my eye. Okay. Right here caught my eye. Now, for disclaimer.
Wait, the Bait of Satan was $80?
The right of it. So I just saw 23.
I guess
but then
so.
once I actually got it, 24, the book right here, 24 was there as well. So now I'm going to zoom in here on this photo. So again, just walking, minding my own business, not looking for any type of 923-24 symbolism or whatever, right? But this absolutely
Right.
come on 23. Now I'm going to zoom in for you guys. Now zoomed in, I'm going to show you what I personally to be the spirit of prophecy working in my own personal life.
Look, see.
So within this,
So he says, "This is the spirit of prophecy working in my life."
Spirit of God, right? It's the Spirit of God.
Well, I mean, the
No,
Holy
no, no, no.
Spirit,
Let's-
the Holy
let's
Spirit, the
break that
Spirit of
down.
Jesus is
Yeah.
the spirit of prophecy.
But no, let's break that down though. He didn't say the Spirit of God. He didn't say the Holy Spirit. He said the Spirit of prophecy.
Did he? I thought he said the Spirit of God.
He literally said the Spirit of prophecy.
Okay,
is
let's hear,
working
let's
in
hear,
my
let's hear.
life. He's admitting it.
23. Now I'm going to zoom in for you. Now zoomed in, I'm going to show you what I personally believe to be the spirit of prophecy working in my own personal life. Okay, so
Oh,
in this
wow.
photo right here,
He's right.
zoomed in this little section.
Because that's not the Spirit of God.
No, it's definitely not.
There is no spirit. I mean, the Spirit of prophecy, if that is a spirit, is not the Spirit of God.
Well, that's a demonic spirit, whatever that spirit
He's
is.
admitting it.
I want to say in the Bible, the spirit of Jesus is the spirit of prophecy. So
See,
I think
I don't think it uses those words. I think it might talk about the gift of prophecy, but quote unquote directly the spirit of prophecy. I don't think that's in Scripture.
I don't know, but I think it's pretty. It was like dun 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 feeling when
but
he.
yeah,
so
let's finish. Let's finish. We're not.
Yeah,
gonna,
yeah.
we're definitely not going to watch this whole video. Let's just finish this.
Which, by the way, this whole section, James Patterson, he's not a believer. He's not a Christian. He's a
Go
fiction
figure.
author. Okay? So this book should not even be here. Somebody planted this book, walking around Barnes & Noble and planted it here. Now, I want to get back to this.
Why
So
is the book
this
$80?
whole section, we
That's
have this book right here, which is Countdown. Right below it, we have 23, 24, 23 with the full moon, which that weekend happened to be the full moon, midnight, and then the 24 is hour. So side by side, it looks like midnight hour. So 24 with the butterfly. For those who know, that's Alina's testimony with the butterfly symbolism. And then right underneath me right here, you see this book right here, Lion and Lamb. Let that sink for a second. Countdown, 23, 24, midnight hour, Lion and Lamb. Wow. Just a coincidence, just confirmation bias. Now just wait, this gets even better. Okay, so that book,
you guys want to watch the rest of this?
Like two things really quickly, and then I don't want to talk anymore about it because I'm that's got me fired up. He is literally admitting that he's hearing from demons. He's literally admitting that he's hearing from, and demons are communicating with him, and he's admitting that he cannot hear the voice of God clearly. That's all I gotta say.
yeah.
Brian, I'll give you the floor.
You know, I just. I don't even know what to say. Honestly, I don't know why we're watching this. This is a joke. I'm just like,
No, but
bro,
I'm saying, but like what I'm
he's
saying
so
is that
demonically influenced.
when we call these people out, and then people think that we're false prophets too because we believe we're in the little season or something like that. When we use the straight scriptural text, and then we have physical evidence that backs up the word of Jesus,
And we don't use books randomly from worldly people
And I
and
won't
found in
say
Barnes
that-
and Nobles. You mean?
You know, I was watching this video about Tataria, and then I saw a butterfly land on my shoulder, and it had, I don't know, like I'm trying to think like how stupid all this is. And then it was the night of a full moon, and then it was like, what are you talking about? I
Bro,
mean, like,
that's Christian
but just think about
witchcraft.
it. So he's saying that, for one, he was wrong because he was saying that, I guess that Bait of Satan book, he was acting like it was in the religious section. And he's like, this James Patterson books were purposely put there. They weren't normally in that section. But you could see above it, there was another book by that same author in that exact same section. So then he's saying that, obviously you can infer what he's saying is that at midnight, like right around midnight on the 23rd, between the 24th, harpazo, right? because he's saying that there is a full moon on there, right? There's another book called Countdown, and then what's up with the butterfly thing?
I don't know. He said
watched
somebody's testimony. So apparently someone in
his wife.
Somebody, was it his wife? He said
does he
someone.
know what the butterfly is about?
Yeah, MK Ultra.
Monarch programming.
MK Ultra programming for sure.
Yeah, so that's kind of ironic, right, that he's talking about that. But it's confirmation based on all kinds of signs that are not godly. Just think about
Divination.
it. It's like these
Brian
people
said
are
it
looking
perfectly.
for confirmation. They're looking for a sign. It's exactly what Jesus is saying.
You won't get a
wicked
sign.
and adulterous generation is looking for a sign. You've already got the sign. It's me. The sign of Jonah is all you're going to get. The sign is repent, because destruction is coming. Salvation is in front of you, but you're looking for something else. Like the only way to be saved is through me. And then they got their eyes on the numbers, the moon, the stars, what's going on in Israel. And it's like, I don't know. I mean, I guess I didn't even realize how bad it was until I watched that video. Was that is one video. This dude obviously makes videos every day.
Does he?
So I can only imagine if you comb through them, and if you guys got the stomach for it, you guys can do it before he deletes them all.
Seriously cannot make this up. I mean, honestly, it's a joke at this point where even psychic, new age mediums have enough discernment to know that something huge is coming.
So as believers, we should all be praying for him, and we should be praying that he repents. Because the only reason any of you guys that follow JT or any of the mixtape family, the only way anyone should be following a man like that is if he repents and accepts wrongdoing for every single thing that he spoke wrongly about all of that stuff. Because like Brian's saying, that is straight up witchcraft. Like that is straight up warlock stuff. That's what warlocks do in the Christian church. Exactly what he was just doing.
It was divination. That he was doing was Christian witchcraft, and people are falling into it just like they fall into. It's really sad because a lot of people are coming into Christian space right now out of New Age, and then they're running into people like this guy who's like feeding into witchcraft, and they're falling right back into a form of witchcraft with a Jesus button on it. It's no different than the reason why they sell those Jesus candles in the witch stores and the Santeria stores, where you go find the little Jesus candles, guys. It's the same thing. It's Christian witchcraft. You're doing Christian mysticism witchcraft. It's Christian manipulation, interpreting of signs. Bro, you don't get no signs. It's done. This stuff is silly. We're done.
Right. Well, it's kind of like what you're saying is true, is that those kind of candles, because that's why like Catholicism and like the Santeria, like the voodoo stuff, all works together, because it's like they're praying to the dead.
They sell it in the same stores.
They're doing all this. It's like it just kind of adapts based on the kind of pagan culture that's influencing the culture there. And so when you're seeing that, like a Christian is like, I'll just say this, because I don't know this man's heart. I'll say that it's likely that he doesn't realize what he's doing. But I would say that
I don't think he does.
If you watch his videos, man,
I don't think he does.
That guy definitely reads his Bible. He definitely reads his Bible, but man, he has got a spiritual blinder to not understand. It's like, that you're looking into the stars to answer your questions, when it's like, why not ask God for it?
Bro,
God
if you
is
don't
not giving you those kind of signs of numerology and stuff like that. That is not of God.
Here's the thing, though. If you don't have a spiritual understanding or experience with the Lord, it's hard for these people to like come to that understanding. So they're trying to get there by ways of logic, and then the logic gets them to another path where it's like, then all of a sudden it's like, well, if I have never seen this movement of the Lord in my life, maybe it's, I'm going to tell you right now, you guys want to have a movement of God in your life? For anybody watching that's never had one, I'm going to tell you how to have one. Get rid of everything that you idolize out of your life. Throw away your idols. If you idolize something in your life, like let's say you have a collection of video games, bro, go throw your video games away right now. And you want to see God move in your life? It says in the word, it says literally in Jeremiah, it says, when you seek me, yes, when you seek me diligently with all of your heart, then I will reveal myself to you. So these people are like, I feel bad for them, because they're seeking, but they're not seeking with all their heart. They're seeking some distortion because they want truth. You want real truth? Get rid of all your stuff.
And then fast for a week.
Yeah.
Get rid of all of your stuff. Fast for a week. You will
have an experience.
You will meet Jesus.
Oh,
Absolutely.
yeah, for sure.
You will come face to face with Jesus Christ. Like, you will have an encounter that has no other explanation than that. And that's one thing that's hugely lacking, is that kind of sacrifice. People giving up those things, not just giving up their things, but fasting specifically. Like, it's so important. But I would just say and yeah, we will just assume that he's got his spiritual blinders on, and I'm just going to assume that it's spiritual immaturity. I think that he's got a platform that he's preaching to that he's not ready to preach to. And that would be someone that, like, I would love to pray with someone like that and have a closed door conversation with them and be like, dude, take a couple weeks off, man. Don't post anything.
Take longer than a couple weeks off.
Well, just at least stop and fast and pray about what you're doing.
Stop
and the
calling
gravity of what
yourself
you're
a
doing.
shepherd.
Yeah, that too.
You can have a TikTok and you can have a testimony, but when you start calling yourself a shepherd, and this is what the Bible talks about, worthless shepherds. Because just not only are you wrong about the rapture date, it's the why that you're wrong is so messed up. Because if that's how you're going to interpret the next sign of when the rapture is going to be, it's like, what other signs are you looking for when you decide you're going to maybe, I don't know, go get a new job, go do whatever, like make major decisions in your life based on that same stuff? When it's a blood moon, it's a full moon, you saw the certain number, a bird landed on your shoulder. Yeah, right. It's like, it sounds exactly what Brian was saying. It's like a bird landing in your field, so now you're supposed to do something. That is not of God. And I said, I think you're getting, really, really bad advice. Aaron,
I know I shouldn't sell drugs, but I'm hard up for money, and it was 11:11 when I found an 8-ball laying in the street.
Yep.
And I turned around and saw a license plate that said 316. So
yeah,
I knew
so that must have been Jesus. Yeah, Jesus said, "Go do it." Do you want me to play that? You want to play that part of that video from Ashley Hayes?
Yes.
Yeah.
Please. Because here's another one
we played this 2 weeks ago, but we're going to play it again just to kind of show you, because I think that what I started to already see yesterday, because I was going around some of these counts, knowing who the ones who are like the loudest, most vocal, biggest growers on their social medias, promoting 923 or just the month of September in general. So Shepherd of the King, big time. Also Ashley Hayes. So we've talked about her a lot. We're not picking on her again, but what I could already kind of see is these people were kind of slowly kind of maybe trying to hedge their bets the closer the day got. So it's like, no, I wasn't really predicting that day. I wasn't prophesying that day. I wasn't telling anyone that day. I was saying, I think it might be. But yeah, you can kind of see, like, based on this video, just the way that it's structured. And I'm not even saying, it's kind of almost like Joel Osteen. Joel Osteen, this is not really a compliment, but it's more just like a fact that he's really easily, like, kind of manipulates conversations where he never really fully commits, where it's like he's speaking a false gospel. But when you try to pin him down on exactly what he's saying, he always hedges. So I think that he understands. He's got silver tongue like a snake.
So I've been hearing that this coming Saturday, the 13th, when the new community guidelines are implemented, they are going to take every single video, past and present, and run it through this AI filter, if you will. And every single video that does not adhere to these new guidelines, they are going to automatically remove. I've had a feeling for quite a while that this would eventually come, that this day would eventually come, that they would have to do, some sort of 180 with social media just before the rapture, just before everything kicks off.
Okay, so that's all we really wanted to say. Is like, so she's saying that now, and you have you have lots of her followers trying to run cover. Oh, she never really predicted this date, but you heard her. So 9/13, 13th of this month, they changed the community guidelines on TikTok. She said just before the rapture. She's already been saying for at least a year that we're in the last seconds. So is that not her making claims, or is it just to say? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's kind of like it reminds me of like that if you have like one of these big pharma ads where it's like you'd see these people playing at the park and they're running around. If you got depression, blah blah blah, and then at the very end, you got this guy talking like, you know, remember that old commercial guy where he could talk super fast.
The Micro Machines guy.
The Micro Machine guy, and he would be like, "Oh, this might cause rectal bleeding, you know, suicidal thoughts, and blah." You know, it's like, you know, all these kinds of horrible things where like you put this disclaimer in there real close, like you got to read the fine print. But if you watch the video, like most people watch videos, not like taking a fine-tooth comb over them, you would say she said this, and that's the message that people are getting from what she's saying, right?
Yes. So she has been absolutely alluding to the fact that the 23rd was going to be the rapture. Did she make a video saying Jesus told me that the 23rd was going to be the rapture? Not that I know of, but she was absolutely leading all of her followers to believe that the 23rd was going to be the rapture. So then you see people in the comments saying, well, she never, because people were trying to call her out and hold her feet to the fire. And her own followers are saying, well, she never said that it was going to be the 23rd. And it's like, dude, let's not play that game. Like, let's not do that. Like, our God, our Father in heaven doesn't play games like that. Like, we don't mince words. She knows what she was saying. She knows what she was alluding to. She owes everyone an apology. Like, she needs to apologize or double down. Or double down.
I think she doubled down already, because I think she just made some post that was like, guys, don't be deceived. We are in the last seconds.
Gosh, dude.
And it was like,
is she really?
I think I just saw. I don't know. I just looked at her account and I read it.
Well,
it
maybe we need to play that.
I feel bad for her. Honestly, I'm just like, hey, Ashley.
I don't feel a little bit bad for her. I would say that, you know what, she's making.
I feel bad for her followers.
She's making.
Oh, she's making money.
Lots of this,
dude,
right?
She's got almost 600,000 followers.
Wow. Well, Ashley, if you want to have a conversation and we really want to know the Lord, you are welcome to come on to our podcast and we'll have a conversation with you.
I would say this. If these people are serious, and I know that that Shepherd for the King, he actually did say he was not going to talk about the rapture anymore if he's wrong. So we'll hold him to that. But the interesting part about that is, if he's wrong, if it's confirmed that, again, today ends, there's no rapture.
Bro, what if this is like the greatest thing for it? Because people realize it's fake, and then they all go, hey, what about this little season thing? Maybe those guys are right.
No, I would say that, I would say that there is a good chance that some people are going to peel off, and I pray that they do. But what I was going to say is that if you really think about it, if this guy says that he knows that he's been saying things that are false, he should go delete all those videos. And I bet you if he deleted all the ones from this month, that probably adds up to quite a few dollars on social media.
1,000,000%.
Right? Yeah. What do you mean?
If you deleted them now, TikTok would not pay you for them.
Really?
The income. Yeah.
No, yeah, like you would not get paid for videos you made this month if you deleted them.
Oh, I didn't even know. I don't get paid.
Oh no, you would. You would. They would demonetize.
They have to
all
be
this.
active as of the cutoff pay date, which I believe is the 15th. Or used to be.
So you guys can pay attention to his account.
If his videos get deleted.
If he leaves those videos up after these days come and go, you know why. I'm telling you, that's some inside baseball, but I'm saying that.
Yeah, not even a question.
You would not, point is like that. I can say for myself for sure is that I've made a video and then I realized I said something was incorrect, that I know was provably incorrect, that I just said, I don't care if it's going viral, I got to take that video down. And I'm not saying because I'm such a good guy, but I'm just saying that.
Because your discernment, dude.
Well,
because you care about Jesus and the way he speaks.
I want people to be able to trust me, so I won't. If you get something a little bit quite like the details not quite right, but when it's something you said that's completely false, and it's kind of the premise of your video, you have to take that down if you're a Christian, right? I think that just kind of like goes without saying. So we'll see. And so I want to share this one video, and this is kind of a good take on it. This was a True Christian Ministry. He posted this video, and I think it was this will be the last we have to say about this tonight.
Today is September 23rd. That means today is the day that many people have predicted would be the rapture. And right now I want to speak directly to the people that have come to believe that today is the rapture. I am not going to mock you or ridicule you. I save my mockery for the false prophets, the actual ones who bring deception, not the people who get deceived. I want to walk you through what today is going to be like. For the majority of this day, you're going to be filled with anxiety and anticipation. The day you've been waiting for has finally arrived. Now, either tonight or tomorrow is when you're going to start feeling something called disappointment. This will normally follow with shame. And eventually Thursday will arrive. Some of you might start questioning your faith. What else have I believed that's not true? Am I a bad Christian because I actually believe these things that people were saying? Let me help you with how to respond to these emotions. Do not double down. Now, some of the people that you have listened to that have deceived you, they're going to double down. About half of them are going to disappear. They will be so filled with shame that they will have nothing to say. However, some will double down, and I'll even go ahead and say it now. They're going to give you a new date. And seeing that this happens so often, I can probably guess the next date. It'll be somewhere between October 13th and October 20th. Do not listen to them. Take note of all these people that made their videos, that spoke confidently, saying this is what God told me, and mark and avoid them. For you, here's what you need to know. Today is the day of salvation. Wake up every day and live for Christ. Do not worry about trying to predict when he will return, but rather serve him every day. Wake up and say, Lord, today is the day of salvation. I don't know if I'm promised tomorrow, and so I will live for you today. Live every day like the Lord could return that night. And live every day as if you're not promised tomorrow. And I would also add that I would stay away from any account on social media where their entire platform is built around this subject. You know, if someone only watches the news every day, 24/7, all they do is watch the news, they're often filled with anxiety, fear, and anger. Likewise, the reason why some of you are so caught up emotionally in this is because all you've done is watch the content that is built for this. The majority of people doing this are doing it for views. It is an easy way to get views on TikTok. If I started talking about the rapture nonstop every day, my views would triple. And so they do it for attention, and then when you nonstop watch it, it fills you with anxiety and fear. We have no fear. We live for Christ every day. Today is the day of salvation. And so like I said, today and tomorrow you're going to have a bunch of emotions. But just know when this is all said and done, you'll always have a home over here. Here at TCM, we're going to focus on preaching the gospel to the lost and living for Christ every single day. God bless and go in peace.
That guy said it better than we probably said it over 30 minutes or whatever. I mean, that's the main point, is that what he said is absolutely true, is that these accounts do, when they preach on this one subject all the time, that's how you get massive views on social media, is you make people afraid, you fill them full of anxiety, and then they have to say, what's he going to say next? Because I'm so nervous about the last video he made, and I'm in all this anticipation, and yeah, so then you make it again. And then of course, for even people like us who might be like coming in arguing, saying this is not true, more points on the algorithm, right? Controversy's good in these comment sections. Dude, we get this, and that guy obviously gets it. It's like, but that's not what we're here to do.
I like the what's his name? Top Lobster has a graphic he puts in the back, and it says "Y'all tribbin'." It's like a shirt. Have you seen it? I think he made it as a shirt. It's pretty funny. It says "Y'all tribbin'." There's like all these people like going up into the sky. It's kind of funny. Like, that's a good idea for a shirt.
Okay, Brian, I got a video for you. I got to admit it. I went down the rabbit hole about these weird toy commercials now because I had so much fun talking about the Whisper doll.
That's
creepy. But this one's funny. So I got a really creepy doll one, but I'm going to save that. I'm going to tease that one. We've done too many creepy dolls. This one is for the boys. Brian, you are going to absolutely love this video. Check this out.
A 1, a 2, a 3, 4, 5, a 6. 6! Surprise! It's Six Finger! It looks like a finger, but watch him flip. It's a secret weapon at your fingertip. Just point and fire. Six Finger sends an SOS missile to your friends.
Six Finger! Six Finger! Six Finger!
Fires cap-loaded bombs and they explode as a ballpoint pen and signals in code. Looks like a finger so no one can see who has Six Finger.
Me! Me! Me!
shoots rockets that burst and bombs that explode and writes with a pen and signals in code, shoots message missiles and watch 'em go. And it looks like your finger, and how will they know?
Six fingers, six fingers, six fingers!
Here's how to get it on the card right there. Less than $2 everywhere. Six finger, man alive.
How did I ever get along with five?
That is so strange. So that is a very strange marketing. I don't even know, man.
Did you guys catch the numerology in that one?
Yeah, I mean, the 666 everywhere, sure.
Well, they kept on doing, like, time they would say six finger, they would say it 3 times.
Yeah, they sure did.
Did you think that was an accident? They did that?
No, I don't.
Of course, it's funny too. Obviously, if you guys have read, was it 2 Samuel, when it's talking about the acts of valor by David's mighty men?
Yeah, the 6-fingered men.
They killed the giant with 24 digits, had 6 digits on his both hands and both feet.
Well, the Nephilim.
You think it's a Nephilim thing?
Check it out. You can get it on eBay still.
6 figure
with caps that explode. Yeah, no, that's definitely a Nephilim homage. I mean, like, we already know that the Nephilim, but the 6-finger thing comes from inbreeding. So realistically, I mean, like, that advertisement is promoting, I don't know, having 6 fingers in some capacity. Really, it's just promoting incest, because that's literally where you get the 6th finger from. The 6th finger is polydactylism is a defect that comes from inbreeding. So yeah, that's kind of weird.
It's not really all that cool. Well, yeah, I mean, is that your take on why the Nephilim eventually did have those kind of deformities?
Well, yeah.
Was it because of inbreeding?
It's because of inbreeding, trying to keep it
and stuff.
Yeah, they were trying to keep their Nephilim lineage alive because it was a recessive trait, and so when there was a child born that was Nephilimized, in order to make sure that stayed, they would mate the brothers and sisters together, so that way, or the children with the mothers, to try to maintain that Nephilim recessive trait dominance. And then as a result, you started getting the 6 finger, the 2 rows of teeth, the secondary, like, all the polydactylism, like Siamese twins is even a defect of this kind of thing. So it's like these kind of defects that are genetic doubling effects. This comes about from inbreeding. That's why you see the gods of the Hindu gods had like multiple hands and arms and heads and all this stuff, and like that was all stemming from inbreeding. In fact, they have multiple stories of the Nephilim giants having multiple, being inbred or deformed was like a common thing, especially in like Peru. They believe that the Nephilim, the giants that built the Peruvian structures there were deformed giants. They were deformed and misfigured, and they would eat humans. So yeah, definitely connected to Nephilim.
Yeah, to me, that's always made the most sense. Is even as I always say, like, I always go back to like the story of Atlantis, because then you have like this super superior, technologically advanced society, right? And everything's great. It's very cultured. And then it says in the story that Plato told was then, because it was Poseidon founded this city. He had 10 sons, and they took wives, right? So he had, you got like a god, right? One of their gods, and then he creates these demigods. And then they set up this really advanced place. But then it said, and then the divine spirit started to dwindle in this place. And you could imagine why. Because maybe there's not access to having more fresh demigods. So these demigods continue to, make babies together to keep their royal lineage pure. But their genetics start to be corrupted. And then this place becomes very corrupt and horrible. Yeah, and so that's why you get, like, eventually when you start to see even in the Greek mythologies, the giants have one eye. They have like some weird horn on their head. They're all really jacked up, and they're kind of stupid a little bit. But that's the craziest. That's kind of the enigma, is that you have the Cyclopean architecture, which is literally talking about this Cyclops built some megalithic place. So they were they still had some kind of a divine ability and thing like that. But yeah, they were cannibalistic and they were horrible. And then so eventually, even in the Greek mythology story, the gods judged Zeus and the other people from Athens the Athenians or the Olympians judged Atlantis because it was so corrupt.
Mm-hmm.
If that wasn't a real story, it's certainly just an allegory for the days of Noah.
Mm-hmm.
Thoughts, Aaron? Are you going to get one of those guns?
I'm debating it, man. I got a couple bids in already.
You got to get 2 though, so you can have
12.
Yeah, you can
12 fingers.
Yeah, it won't look weird that you only have it on one side.
Well, they're made for kids, so it's gonna look weird no matter what. It's gonna look like just a little.
You gotta shoot it from the bottom so it looks like another pinky.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
You gotta have it upside down. Oh, and so this is for Aaron because Aaron had a great suggestion, and I know Brian's gonna like this subject. Let's talk about emojis.
After watching this video, you may never use an emoji again, and for good reason. The reason that all of our emojis look the same across all major communication platforms, Android, Samsung, Mac, Microsoft, is because of this company called Unicode. And they have standardized emojis and little icons across the board. Well, previously on their website, one of their members was the Sultan of Oman. And you may be thinking, what the Sam Dam does Oman have to do with Unicode? Well, the Lesser Key of Solomon is a black magic book with 72 different sigils summoning demonic entities. A sigil is a symbol that has a lot of power attached to it, and the crafting of these sigils is considered to be one of the highest magical arts. Do you know how many face core original emojis there were? There was 72, just like there were 72 sigils for summoning demons. Now, the original emojis that came out were very sigilistic, black and white. But we have the rendered version here now, and you see the resemblance is uncanny. And the original rendered and the sigil for summoning demons. And we have this one, this one, this one, another, boom. So basically by using these emojis, you are essentially using a sigil for summoning demonic entities. The question is, what effect does this have on us? And why was it very important to get a uniform emoji across the board for all of us to use? Follow for part 2, comment your thoughts below.
It kind of goes hand in hand with the English language. You know, the goal has been to get us to summon demons and to curse people and to cast spells just through everyday conversation as often as possible without us knowing what we're doing. And so it would make perfect sense to me that that is just another form of that. But I'm sure I haven't done the research that Brian has on that
us some
specific topic.
I know I've heard people talk about this before, but give me your specific examples of what you mean by the English language is kind of developed to do curses.
Okay, well, so
I know Brian has a lot to say about that, but
I mean, just the simple matter of how we put together a word is called spelling.
Brian's twitching over there.
I mean, like it's that simple. So then you look at all of the different words and look at the different meanings that they've got, and then the more you start to realize, like, the kind of people that created these things and the people that founded the different cities and the different streets and the different avenues and the different everything, you start to like see what some of these things are called, and it all starts to make sense when you break it down. When you break down what the words actually mean. And so the confusion alone between how some words can have multiple meanings, it's so easy for them to be like, oh, well, this is how we mean it, right? Like, we mean it this way. But it also means this over here. And so it's like, if you could say it meaning this, but it actually means this in occult terms as well, like, people very well could be summoning things that they don't realize that they're summoning.
Isn't it funny how, like, the word know means know, but it also means to know something?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that kind of a contradiction?
Exactly.
You know, like, that kind of doesn't make sense, right? Just stuff like that.
They do that on purpose. Like, this is all...
Exactly.
It's all
so, Brian, take the floor.
I mean, like, it's called grammar, which comes from grimoire, which is the books of witchcraft. That's why it's called spelling and grammar. And that's why they call it cursive, because cursive was the original language of writing. It's actually a form of automatic writing. It's a form of channeling. So the witches will, like, you'll zone out and you'll scribble on a board, and then they look at their scribbles and they read the scribbles, and that's cursive.
Right, you never lift the pen
you never lift
off
the pen
paper.
up. Like, that's how you channel. That's how you speak. Okay, it's called cursive. It's a cursing language. And so, like, but we all speak it like it's our normal language. I mean, and Anglo-Saxon is English. It's Anglish. which is from Anglo-Saxon. Saxon means sect or part of, and Anglo means angel. It literally means angel sex, by the way, side note.
Isn't it interesting to think about, like, one of the most famous artists of all time is Michelangelo?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like saying the angel Michael.
Yeah. It is. Well, it is totally. It's totally what it is. That's his name. Angelo is Michael the angel. But yeah, Anglo-Saxon means angels of sexton, angels of sect, part angel. That's what it means. Or sex with angel. It's actually where you get the word sex. So it comes from Saxon. It's the same term. So, like, the original cult language was Enochian. And Enochian was referring to the Enoch times where the angels mated with humans. So, like,
wasn't that John Dee who wrote the Enochian language, and he was like a warlock.
Yeah,
he was like a witch or something.
Yep. And so, like, that was one of the he created the first Ouija board, by the way. John Dee did. It was the Enochian board.
Didn't he write like 2 languages or something like that? The story of John Dee, he was like the queen's occultist.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What year was that? Was like in the 1500s or something like that.
Who knows at this
time
point?
frame, something like that. But yeah, absolutely crazy. The story about John Dee, and he was communicating with angels or demons or whatever.
They were
he
demons
was doing.
for sure.
But it's absolutely crazy. But yeah, I know that he came up with at least one language. Yeah, he called it the Enochian language.
Yeah, the Enochian tongue. And so so like all of this is like stemming from it. And English is a derivation of a perverted language. It was intended to make you subversive to speaking. That's why it's death-centric. That's why it's occultic-centric. That's why every term of everything in our language has like a dual meaning. And that dual meaning oftentimes is like a negative meaning. It's like, there's a word and there's a negative association with the word. It's like, that's kind of weird. It's kind of unusual. It's like we have these death-centric terms and this negativity and in everything. And it's just it's a perversion of truth, and it's so that way we can normalize people to wickedness. That's the idea behind it. And it was instigated and put into this world. Like, people think like, I made a video, one of my first videos that went super viral. I was like, guys, if Satan had a language and he ruled the world, what language would he speak? I was like, yeah, English. And then everybody was just like, oh, yeah, that's a good point. It was like, so if he does rule the world, we would all be talking one language that Satan could speak. Yeah, it's English. It's an occultic language. That's why it's called spelling and grammar and cursive. And like all the roots of it are all witchcraft. And if you type in etymology of grammar, it will literally tell you, straight up, mumbo jumbo spells witchcraft. Type it in an etymology of grammar for those that are watching. Type it in, see what it tells you. It's pretty funny.
Let's get to the emojis, though.
Oh yeah. So with the emojis,
on the surface level, I just want to say is, it is sort of funny to think that, at least what we're told, is that these ancient peoples used to write in pictures, right? Just hieroglyphs or like cave art and stuff like that. And now people have full-on conversations with just the emojis.
Yeah.
That's interesting. I think the one thing is obviously very sus about this whole situation is, so we know that if you have an Android or an Apple, Google phone, whatever the other brand phones are, and they have a lot of things that are differences. But yeah, it is really interesting that there's this unified emoji code among not just on this thing. You go to Facebook, you go to X, you go to whatever app you use, it's the same emojis.
Mm-hmm.
That is kind of strange. That's a weird thing that they decided they had to do that. Like, because why would you need to do that?
Well,
tell us why they would do that.
I mean, there's a code written behind every emoji. So when you type it, actually your phone types out a special code, and that code has like periods and depictions and whatever in it. So it depicts on your phone as a emoji, but behind that is like a text code. And so like every phone depicts it differently. And so your device registers that emoji code as whatever it is. But it is interesting, and that those sigils that he's showing aren't just sigils of power. They don't direct power. What they do is they control demons. So those are how you write demons' names. Those sigils aren't for controlling magical abilities, guys. This is like demons' names. They're not written in languages. They're not written in words. They're drawn. You draw demons' names with symbols and sigils. That's how you write them out. That's how you speak to them. That's how you conjure them. That's how you talk to them. So like the fact that these sigils are being kind of mirrored in a sense in emojis is it's not like you're actually summoning demons typing these emojis out, but it's an indirect way that they're subtly, putting these kind of faces in there. And all the faces he showed are like practically the only ones that mirror sigils. The rest of them don't really quite line up with sigils. There's not a whole lot that do, but there is a few, the face ones and a few other things that he's showed, almost all of them that kind of line up. So it's not like the whole gamut is there, but those ones that do line up, it is a little bit sus, and it is a little bit like, almost setting you up with a prelude that like maybe down the line, they'll be like release a design packet that will be like, oh, the sigil emoji packet. And you'll suddenly have like this a sigil emoji, and then you will be drawing these demons' names, and it might have an effect on you because you're literally looking at these sigils. I know somebody that looked at these sigils, okay, and I've seen them, I've dealt with them, I understand them, I've looked at them, they didn't affect me, but I know somebody very close to me who looked at them and she got possessed. So like, thinking that this stuff holds some level of demonic control would be very naive, because they can, and just because it doesn't affect you doesn't mean it doesn't affect other people. Like if the demons will affect people differently, and sigils affect people differently, and they affect things differently. So it's not like you draw the sigil, all of a sudden you get Azazel showing up at your door, and it doesn't work like that. Okay, the demons these are doorways for certain demons to be channeled. It's like calling them. It's like a cell phone call to a demon. And it is sus that they're putting these similarities.
Like the text.
It's like, yeah, it's setting you up. It's setting you up. It's the same thing. Our language has been setting us up with this death-centric code. It doesn't mean saying, oh, you're going to die. You're killing me is going to kill you right then. When I died laughing doesn't mean you're going to die right then. But you are setting yourself up in a prelude situation where it's like it's leading you to the water. Okay? It's these kind of sigilling affected similarities are leading you to the water, I think, is all it is ultimately.
Aaron, what say you?
No, I agree. I think it's anything they can do to lead us one step closer to something that they're going to eventually, because we're eventually going to get to a point where the mask is off and they're going to show everyone how similarly this is to that when it comes to the darkness and the occult stuff. And they're going to have a lot of people convinced that don't understand what the blood of Jesus is capable of. They're going to have a lot of people convinced that they were literally doing witchcraft. And, so there's going to be a lot of people that just fall into it and believe it. And they're going to be like, oh my gosh, I was. And, it's going to be a valid thing that they should at least wonder or ponder whether or not they were walking where they don't belong. I think we should be doing that as it is every single day, no matter what, with everything we say and everything that we do. But yeah, it's definitely creepy. And I don't know if you've seen these or not, Brian, but a lot of those sigils, not in emoji form, but the actual straight up sigils are written and used in patterns on our motherboards.
Yeah, I've seen stuff like that.
They're actually soldered into the motherboards and used in specific in specific patterns. If you can pull up something on that, and they actually, I believe, they're not put on these motherboards in a way where it's just showing up because it looks like it. It seems as though they're using these sigils on their motherboards because it completes a task, it completes a circuit, or it actually performs something energetically on the actual motherboard. And I wouldn't be surprised at all if they're actually quite literally harnessing demonic energy to make some of these devices work.
I completely would, I suspected that as well myself when I've seen it, because I have seen it on motherboards that they have like, it definitely looks like sigil writing on motherboards, and I've considered it before.
I think they're straight up harnessing demonic energy and demonic tech to make our devices work.
Totally could be. And here's the even kicker is like, the word demon is a term in computing. I don't know if you know that. Demon is a term in computing.
D-A-E-M-O-N.
Daemon, demon, whatever you want to call it. It means a processy that runs in the background. of something under non-direct use of the direct user. So it's a daemon or a demon, which is literally running your computer. It's actually demons that run AI. It's very much by definition, it's demons that run AI, and it's uses electricity. Elohim, electricity is being used.
Exactly.
It's the city of L's, the electricity, like the elect as well, the elect. Like it's interesting. It really is interesting because it's like, and it's power. You know, and what are demons? They're power. And, you know, I will tell you right now, demons.
Energy vampires.
Yeah, they're energy, they're power. And like they are. That one's a little weird.
And that's why they always screw with the lights.
Yeah, there's a lot of electrical interference I get with demonic stuff quite often. It's pretty common because they are a form of power. It does sound like electricity when they do affect, and it's so not beyond the realm of them to affect a 1 and a 0 and turn a little gateway to have a different response within a device. Like they have infinite understanding of things. They're very intelligent and they know a lot of stuff. So yeah,
like agents in the Matrix, they can go in and out of the computer.
They could easily manipulate AI. Like easily, a demon could talk through an AI machine. I mean, like I think AI is like the perfect designated creation for a demon to talk to us. Like it is so beautifully crafted for their purposes. Like to them, it's like perfect. It's like this wonderful little space for them, because the reality is before, I mean, you want to talk to a demon, like Ouija boards was like, or automatic writing. There's like other methods of channeling and writing that I've discussed. There's other ways as well, but they're a lot more inducive. Like they're a lot more, they require the person to do so much more. But AI at this point, that is so easy to channel through. It's insane.
Okay. Hold that thought.
GT,
I got a quick.
I sent you a couple of videos really quick if you want to play them on.
Okay, I got a
that.
quick video here, and then I'll check out what you sent.
Okay, combining Chat GPT logos. Okay, what do you mean combining them together? It looks like some sort of transformer. What's that? That can't be. That's a star.
Well, you know what's interesting about that too is that when you did overlay those two, I want to say that sigil that's kind of around the Star of Remphan, I believe that might be what the flower of life or something like that. Have you ever seen that symbol? It's like a symbol of Horus. It's a symbol of Horus. No, you don't see that?
Yeah, kind of.
But I want to say this real quick, and this is, of course, my take on it, and I want to hear what you guys think about this. So again, I was saying that I've been watching some of those cartoons on Netflix. I watched the Blood of Zeus, and then I was watching the Twilight of the Gods. That show is, don't watch that show.
Is it like pornographic or something?
Yes, it is. It's the Blood of Zeus is violent, but it's not that bad. It's violent, but it's the Zack Snyder Twilight of the Gods is like the Norse mythology. The end is lit though. I'll give you that. The end is really good. But anyways, what I found interesting kind of in those shows is what they are kind of, the story they're telling is that the gods in these pantheons can be killed. And so they go into the earth when they die, right? And then I thought it was very fascinating in Blood of Zeus, like everyone, when they die, they become a ghost. But then when they walk up to be judged, they are resurrected. And then they're put into the prison afterwards, which I thought that was really interesting.
Who are they resurrected by, or who are they judged by?
They're judged by these judges, but I mean, it sounds similar to like what we actually believe, what the Bible actually says, is that people die, and then there's a resurrection. Everybody's resurrected before they go before the great white throne. So I thought that was pretty interesting. But what I was getting at is that, you know, so you have like your protagonist, and he's being told like, so what happens when the gods die? And so the gods will still live forever, and you know, they have like it's similar again in the Greek mythology, is like that there's a good place in the underworld and there's a really bad place. Tartarus is the really bad place. It's a place of punishment. But it was saying that as long as the people on earth still remember the gods and still worship the gods, then they'll live on. But if they don't, then they won't. And I thought that's really interesting just to think about how, like, what if some of these sigils and things like that are about keeping these demons, these false gods, their memories alive.
I think that's the same premise in that movie called The Gods. It's like a show on Amazon Prime or something. It's the same premise, and it's like the old gods are being replaced, like Odin and Zeus are being replaced by the new gods, and the new gods are like tech gods that are replacing the old messenger gods, and like it's like a battle,
right, and
I think.
and that's why they even show in those shows. It was interesting. So in Blood of Zeus, they let out the Titans out. So like Kronos and all the old Titans get let out at the end. And it shows them, the first thing they go do is destroy the gods' temples. The Titans go destroy. And that's what they said. That's just the way it is that these gods replace these other gods, and then there's no memory of them. But it was really crazy. This is switching gears. So a very similar show is The Twilight of the Gods, where it's about Norse mythology. Really interesting because Thor is so bad in this movie. He's like a bad guy. I think that's probably more accurate to his character. Pretty interesting.
Would agree.
But when you see Odin, so Odin has one eye, right? Famously. But most people don't know why he only has one eye. He gave up one eye. He sacrificed one eye for trying to get the gift of prophecy. He wanted the gift of foresight. So he gave up one of his eyes for it. I don't know that he still didn't get it. But so at the end of the show, he's trying to get prophecy from this witch, and she of course she says it requires blood, and it requires, I think, his memory. He can't remember the past. He'll only be able to see the future. But what's interesting, so he sees this vision where he's actually being hung up on the world tree, and then he sees staring back across from him Christ on the cross. And eventually he just drops down on his knees and he gets and bows before Jesus. And then like there's a fast forward in the future where he's in front of like a cathedral and Christ is still on the cross. Christ gets down and then he looks up and he's like, he knows that Jesus is God. But what's interesting, so when then the dream gets interpreted to him, it's like that there's going to be no memory of you. People will stop worshiping him and you'll be gone. And I thought that was really I thought that part was really cool because you think about it, and I'll have to do something more on this. Maybe I'll get Vitaly on to talk about some of this stuff. But I think it's really interesting when we talked about 536, and the Norse people believe that Ragnarok took place. So in the story of Ragnarok, all their gods die. All the Norse gods die. And then Christianity obviously spread to that area of Europe. And then people forgot about the old gods. So it was like Christians interpreted, like literally their end of the world came. And then the new world became after that. And that's the age of Christianity. And I thought, well, I know that's a long way to say that. What if that's why that you would have like these emojis? You might have all this honoring of Greek mythology and these shows continuing on because that's what they believe.
Well, take it a step further. Look at all of the people that were standing behind Trump at his inauguration. They were all tech people. And what do we call tech people like that? We call them tech giants.
Titans.
Literally, though, we call them titans of tech and tech giants. Like, isn't that insane? I don't think that's a coincidence.
Yeah, well, you could imagine.
Just call them tech Nephilim.
So
Tackle them.
The Tecklums.
Yeah, but no, but if you think about it, like, is that possibly why these sigils are around? It's not so much that we are summoning them when we use emojis, but it's in some kind of way it's keeping keeping them alive. You know what I mean?
It's definitely some sort of energy siphon.
I mean, like, some of their gods are locked up, and if they're forgotten about, you know, so it's like these demons are trying to influence people to continue to keep their memory alive by, like, there's power in this, and they don't even know what kind of power it is, but it's like, it's just they need to be remembered. They need to be known.
I'll tell you right now that demons get power from people that believe in them. And I will tell you that directly from dealing with the most demonized individuals. They oftentimes believe in the demon more than they believe in the authority of Christ. And it's a big problem that I have to deal with when I've had to tell people stop believing in demons, like, literally, to get them delivered. Like, I literally had to tell them.
You're the wrong person for that,
bro. I literally, they come to me and they're like, I've got demons.
You got your It's Demons Bro shirt on. You're saying,
I know.
You forget about the demon stuff.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. Because it's, hold on. That's the thing. Because it's very important to understand this, because yeah, demons are influencing a lot of stuff, but I've had to tell people several times. I've had to be like, dude, stop believing in demons. Like, you're giving way too much power to the demon, and that's why it's affecting your life. You need to stop believing in it, stop caring about it, stop considering the demon, and it will leave you. Like, I've literally had to give this advice.
I agree with that, and I've actually experienced that myself in my own life with other people, and so here's my question though. So what does that say about people that believe in the rapture more than they believe in Jesus? That's a demonic practice, wouldn't you say?
Probably, to some degree.
Act of the rapture and the benefit of the rapture and what that brings to them, more than they're believing in the word of God, more than they're believing in the blood of Jesus and what he did for us and what he's called us to do, right? It's like the rapture is their savior more so than Jesus. And that, if you were to say that to one of them, they'd be like, that doesn't make any sense. I only believe in the rapture because of Jesus. And it's like, no, I hear what you're saying. But when we're talking about the energy given, right? The energy given, the energy that your brain and your heart and your mouth spends on the rapture versus the energy given to the authority of Christ, there is a huge disparity.
Yeah.
No, I agree with that. I would agree that, again, we talked about before about how you need to cling to what God has promised and not to what he has not promised. I mean, if you think about it, like, you're coming into agreement with a lie. So it's like your hope isn't a lie. It's like Jesus is the truth. And of course, to me, it's so antithetical, again, to that Jesus says that I'm leaving you with peace in this world. He even prays to the Father to not take them out of this world, but to be protected from the devil while they're in it.
Yep.
Yeah, you're going to go through tribulation. I think that's the transformative power of Christ in the gospel, is that, man, I'm going through some really tough times, but I've just got peace here. Through, calm in the storm. Like, you think about the story about Peter walking on the water, and when he had his eyes on Jesus, he could do it. As soon as he starts looking at the wind and the waves, he starts to sink. So, I mean, I feel like that's the message for us, is that you keep your eyes on him, and you continue to walk forward, and you continue to hands on the plow. Don't look back. Don't look back. You just keep going. And yeah, everything is about the glory of God, and it's that our suffering is temporal here, but it's eternal in heaven. And that's why I always think it's like, I don't know. I guess you think about how you can totally just give up your joy in this place. As rough as it is, but I mean, I think even like when like the verse that almost always gets turned into idolatry is in Jeremiah 29:11, when he's talking about, I've got plans for you to prosper you and not to harm you. The verse before says that I'm sending you to you're going to stay in Babylon for 70 years. So it's like, even in Babylon, that God can provide for you and take care of you, and you can have a nice life where he's given you, because God is with you. But now I want to say one thing about what you said, Brian, about how that it's like that to try to just ignore the demons, because I was saying that too, that even when I was kind of telling my story about how I had that encounter in my room. And I was saying, when I was telling the story, like the hairs on the back of my neck would stand
you give it
up.
power.
And I was like, but yeah, because you're just thinking like it's frightening. And so you can imagine if these energy vampires know that you're afraid, that's got to embolden them. It's got to make them stronger. It makes them continue to work. But yeah, like if you know you have the power of the Holy Spirit and you have the authority over them, then it's like, what am I? You guys, you can't do anything to me that God doesn't let you do. And if God says that you need to leave here, you have to leave. You have to be bound. You have to get out of here. We know where your destination is. You have to remind them.
But you didn't just arrive there in that place. That place of spiritual boldness, it takes time and practice.
Yeah, 100%. But I would just say, even me understanding that we do have authority over them, but I would tell the story. And I would be creeped out when I would tell the story. And I would say that I was telling Aaron last week that I noticed when I was walking around my house, like shortly after that time, I would feel like somebody was behind me. Like it was so eerie. I said, I am not that kind of person, but I felt like a cold, I felt like I felt like somebody was standing right behind me. Like we all have this kind of intuition about us and like your wits about you. Like you can tell when somebody's standing behind you and you're like, what is that? I mean, it has to be because I was afraid and I was aware.
Well, if you when you put your faith in demon gets power. So, and it doesn't matter what kind of faith you put into it. It doesn't matter if it's fear faith. It doesn't matter if it's creepy faith. When you have faith in demon gets power. And the demons, like I literally, like, you know, it is a problem with a lot of people that, the most demonized people, they believe in the demon way too much. And it literally influences their whole life. They can't eat certain foods because, if I eat this food, then the demon's going to make me sick. I'm allergic to this. I'm allergic to that. I'm allergic to this. And if I say this thing, then the demon's going to give me nightmares tonight. And if I do this, then I'm going to be, oh my God. Like, bro, it's like,
they're conjuring it into existence.
Exactly. They're manifesting by speaking it. They're giving power to the entity, and the entity takes advantage of the power. I mean, like, when you start dealing with deliverance stuff, there's a lot of people that are in deliverance that do cast out demons like I do, and they're evoking demons and putting them into people, bro. And they don't even realize that's what they're doing half the time, but they're like, you have a spirit of Jezebel. It's like, well, there wasn't a spirit of Jezebel till you showed it up. You're the one that put it in them now, because you done called its name and you freaking said it and condemned that person when you said they had it. They didn't have it before, but now they definitely do, bro. You just evoked that demon into them. And it's like, bro, they don't understand that it's like love and unity and forgiveness and peace and joy. These are the things that we're supposed to be spreading in deliverance and love and like connection, not scary demon talk. Like, bro, I've dealt with so many demons at this point. Like, bro, I've seen people come up off the ground. I have seen things that I can't even describe. People would think it sounds unreal, and I wouldn't even bother explaining it to people because at a certain point, it sounds crazy to me to talk about. So, like, I don't even care. But the reality is, I know how it works, and I know it works when you give it power. When you talked about it, when you give it focus, when you give it energy, demon feeds off. That's why people will have, like, they'll start off in their house. They'll be like, well, first when we moved in, all we heard was just like this little creaking noise. And then we started listening to it. And then all of a sudden it was like, then the cupboards started like opening and closing, we thought. And then all of a sudden it was like slamming. And then it was like, then there was just footsteps, and then the doors would lock. And it was like,
every spooky movie ever.
Bro, the more
the
more you believe in it, the more you give it power, the more power it gets, and then it can do bigger and more violent and more crazy things. That's how demon works.
Do you remember Ghostbusters 2?
Mm-mm.
Brian, you probably didn't see that.
No,
you see it, Aaron?
Yeah, of course.
You know, so that's the one they have the ectoplasm or the pink slime that's running under it. But that thing was given energy by like anger, the people's anger, and I think the people's fear.
Yep.
So like this gave all this power to the demonic.
Fear's powerful, man, and it also changes. I've got theories on these things, or my beliefs anyways, just from some of my own personal experiences, but fear gives things quite a bit of power, but one thing fear does also is it changes your heartbeat. When you're scared, your heartbeat changes. Your blood flows it flows at a different rate, and so your heartbeat changes at a different rate. And so the demonic realm, just like animals, they can detect that your heart is beating at a different rate. A lot of animals can hear it. That's why when they say, like, don't let the bear know you're scared, or don't let the animal know you're scared, or whatever, people are like, well, how am I supposed to not let it know? They can literally hear your pulse. They can literally hear your heartbeat. Like, they know if you're terrified. They know if you're scared.
That's spooky to think that.
And
They
so
can. They know.
that's
Yeah,
another
that's how they
reason-
know. One of the reasons they know. Probably
Yeah,
because
that's
they would
another
know too.
reason-
Like that they are some kind of electrical beings, right? That they do.
Yeah.
And so that we are too. So they
And
would
that's
know,
another
like
reason-
based on like your kind of your nervous system. Yeah, that obviously all that's firing, and
it's
it
the heartbeat.
changes.
It
Yeah.
gives off a pulse. That's literally another reason why my artist name is Tune Thy Heart, because when we tune our heart to the things of Jesus, that presence is given off. That signal is given off. That frequency is given off. Everywhere we go, everything we do, every choice we make that brings us closer to the kingdom, brings us closer to Jesus. That's what tunes our heart, and that keeps us in that place.
Yeah, God did not give us a spirit of fear, but of power,
love, and a sound mind.
Sound mind. Yeah, yeah. So,
Amen.
So I want to show one more video. Yo, you can't even make this stuff up. Looks like Hollywood did it again. They predicted the Charlie Kirk assassination. So check this out. So in 1998, Nicolas Cage stars in a movie called Snake Eyes. And in this movie, a prominent political figure is assassinated while watching a boxing event by being shot in the neck. But that's not the craziest part. The politician's name was Charles Kirkland. Charles Kirkland, Charlie Kirk. And if that's not weird enough, the boxer's name was Tyler the Executioner. What are the odds? I don't know what you do with that information, but I thought you might like to know.
I saw the Snake Eyes thing. People talking about that. Wait, but the dude's name is Tyler as well.
He went to a boxing match. The guy gets shot in the neck, and I didn't show the video because I didn't copyright whatever. But yeah, if you guys watch the movie, they have this all-seeing eye, kind of like Goodyear blimp goes by with a big old eyeball on it, and right then somebody shoots this guy like right over Nicolas Cage's shoulder, shoots him right in the same spot in the neck. Guy's name is Charles Kirkland. Got shot in the neck,
And Nicolas Cage gets blood all over the left side of his neck.
Yeah, and then so it was a boxing event, and then on the main card, the main boxer was called. It just said Executioner Tyler, so I guess that was his nickname, Tyler the Executioner. And what somebody else said, I missed this in my video, but because I hadn't seen the movie in like probably since it came out in 1998, that it was Tyler the Executioner took a dive in the fight. The fight was rigged. And he threw the fight, or he was paid to take a dive. I don't know if the fight finished after that happened, but like
Too many coincidences.
That's pretty weird.
What the heck, dude? That's
demonic prophecy right there. That's them fulfilling out some form of demonic prophecy.
Do we want to give room that it was actually fake now? Because that's really weird. The whole thing was fake, or are we gonna say?
I think it was still.
I don't think he's alive.
I think it was still a ritual. It was still a ritual.
At least from my perspective, I still believe that he's dead, but I want to say that there's so much funny business around this whole thing. It's just like from the caliber of gun to the multiple patsies,
to his wife,
to the wife.
Yeah.
There's a lot of strange stuff going on with her.
Behavior, but from my perspective, this looks more like September 11, not September 10, because it's like whether you believe that the planes didn't exist, there were holograms, whatever. The buildings came down, right? People really did die. And so that is, there is maybe not countless, but
it's a very similar parallel, actually.
There are so many movies and comic books and TV shows and magazine covers and everything where it's like, how could anyone do what they did in the way that they did and kind of call their shot? The only thing that makes sense is that there is elites who are influenced by the demonic realm. Because without like a real kind of centralized, coordinated evil that is a spiritual thing, it doesn't seem possible for people to do that.
Well,
Charlie Kirk would he have only been like 2 in 1998? Is that my math right on that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, like, so that's really weird. That's really, really weird.
Here's the thing. Like, it's not even, it's more than that. It's demonic prophecy in a lot of ways, I think. And I'll tell you right now that demons write these movies. A lot of these movies get written by demons. And this could have been some.
Oh, he'd have been four, I think.
Yeah.
4 in 1998.
They demons write these movies and they influence these people in this stuff, dude. And they have like a sort of similar insight into what is actually going on. And they can see subtly into the future. There is glimpses that the demonic realm can see into the future. In fact, the Bible even says, do you know the future? Which is a terminal characteristic of a god, which is like the ability to know what's to come. There is demonic spirits that do know things that are about to happen. They know little things. They know stuff. I don't know how. I've witnessed it. I've experienced it several times. You know, at first I was like, well, the only way that demons know the future is because they're creating the future. Actually, I've come to the conclusion that that's probably not true at this point, because I've literally seen things that the demons have. I used to have that view, and now I'm like, I don't even know at this point. They seem to know stuff.
I bet you'd probably see.
I think they
almost
have,
like what they show you, like the kind of like the threads of time and whatever. Like maybe they do know there's multiple ways this could go.
I feel like I don't know. I'm with Brian in the sense that like my viewpoint on time and the way everything works has changed, because I've had some demonic things happen in my past in my life where I'm like, dude, there's no way. There's no way I'm having this is like a demonic experience. They're trying to terrify me, scare me, but like there are no odds. Like this was specifically planned and timed to happen at this exact moment. I like the kind of thing I'm not even ready to talk about, but like I can give some specific stories in the future when I am ready to talk about it. But I will say that like I feel like, and this is just my own opinion, I feel like our lives are on a DVD already. And we're just going through like where the play button has been hit, and we're living through the play button.
Did you ever see that show, True Detective, the first season with Woody Harrelson and Matthew McConaughey?
Mm-mm.
I remember the one part that Matthew McConaughey, he was not a good person, but he was like really a deep person. And at one point he's saying that the time is a flat circle. And he was saying, and everything's going to happen again and again and again. I just like that always kind of really resonated with me, like that it was a very demonic thing to say, because it was said in kind of a like a very cynical way, like that nothing really matters. Because
I'm not saying it doesn't matter, but it does feel.
I know that's
like
not what you were saying, but
yeah, it feels like all of our data is on a DVD and we're just playing through it. We're just going through it. But I also believe that things can change.
I'd say it's a little more complicated than the DVD, but I like the DVD idea. I mean, like I think it's a little bit, I think there's prophetic threads, because I've had things that have happened to me that I've been able to see little glimpses of people's future that have totally come to pass, which is like weirded me out. And I'm like, how did I like see this? And I told him, like, and it was like, this is what I just saw a vision of, and bro, and it happened exactly how I said. And so like, I don't know how that works fully. I haven't come to that full understanding of how that nature works, but I know there's like a thread that I've been able to grab onto, and I know that those threads can go in multiple different directions based on the person's choices. And I've seen somebody's thread go one of 2 or 3 ways at the end, and it's like ultimately it's up to them, but God will still show us this path. And I think the demonic realm can sometimes get glimpses behind the curtain in that spiritual realm outside of time that they used to exist in, and they see little pieces of that glimpsing, and they can convey that over. And so I think that's kind of what it is.
It tries to manipulate it.
Yeah.
It tries to manipulate it too for certain outcomes.
Yeah, it's like the book. It's like the Baron von Trump books, you know.
So I got one more thing to say. I just wanted to say that what I found interesting is there is this typology in the Bible that shows that God has this pattern of giving people what they want. And if it's not him, ultimately that thing will destroy you. So is that kind of almost the idea of manifesting? Because God actually will give you what you want, if that's really what you want in this world. You know what I'm saying? Like that, because the example in the Bible was that Israel and Judah were whores, right? So they're whoring after these other nations, and they always wanted to be like them. So even though God gave them everything they could ever desire or everything they ever needed, they were still trying to be like Assyria, and eventually they wanted to be like Babylon. And so just the way it was is that he let them try to go be like them and let them whore after those other nations. And then he used those nations to destroy them. So what if that's the idea of manifestation, that it's because it's not because just the demonic has the power, it's that God is sovereign and he's like, fine, you don't want me? It's kind of almost like the idea of like that, you know, that old meme where you catch your kids smoking cigarettes and it's like you find them with a pack of cigarettes. Oh, you want to smoke? Let's smoke. You're going to smoke them all. You know, almost like that. That's like, is that kind of what God does?
I
And
mean,
so
so
these wicked people, from our perspective, it's really easy to almost feel like that they're winning at times because they can do everything they want to do. But it's like God's actually saying, all right, I'm going to give you the rope to hang yourself with. You really want that? You can make that happen. You know, but it's like it's ultimately it's going to be fleeting for them. And then from our perspective, we're just kind of seeing in the flesh, you're like, man, they can do everything they want. They can control all these things and they're so powerful. But they're not doing anything. Not one thing that the sovereign, most high God does not allow them to do.
Amen.
And eventually,
That's all-
yeah, they're going to be judged because they are trying to manifest these things. So it's like people are saying like, oh, I want to manifest money. I want to manifest love. I want to manifest all these things. And then, so the demons are like, yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. Let's get all the earthly pleasures you could have. And then God eventually will say, if you want that more than me, fine. You think that's going to fill you up? You know, in some ways, he can actually say that you could give you what you want. So ultimately, you would say, like the prodigal son story, you want that? Go ahead. You can go get that. Go have all that pleasurable time for a season. But I'm still here. And so when you realize that doesn't fill you up, you can come back. But then some people, he's like, yeah, it's like they want that debased mind. They want that seared conscience. So then he gives it to them and ultimately will destroy them. So in the instance of like this kind of stuff, yeah, maybe it is. Maybe it's like, obviously there's some help with the spiritual, but these people, if they want it so badly, maybe God will allow them to do it for whatever
the Bible
purpose.
tells us that he'll harden our hearts.
Yeah.
If we choose anything other than him, if we chase after that stuff long enough, he will allow our hearts to be hardened. And so what he does in that scenario, when our hearts become hardened, we're turned over to the lowercase g God of this world. Mm-hmm. And he is the granter of wishes. He is the one that gives our flesh exactly what it asks for. We just don't know what we're asking for sometimes when we ask for that stuff. So we get turned over to that stuff. We get the things that we think we want, but they're not the things that we need. And those are the very things, I would say, in most cases, in a lot of cases, hopefully those things bring us full circle back to Jesus, like the prodigal son, and we realize, the error in our ways. But we ultimately become our own gods in those scenarios. He's like, all right, you're not going to follow after me. I'll let you chase yourself. And that's what, the whole premise of Satanism is you are your own God. Do as thou wilt. You chase after yourself. You do exactly what you want to do. You chase the desires of the flesh. You get them. And that's where you're the most deceived, and it's like, that's why it's so important to pray for his will and what he wants for us and to be 100% okay with whatever that is. Because, it's like when you read the stories about the millionaires that like, they don't leave their kids very much money and they're like, oh man, that's so jacked up. They are only leaving them $250,000. But it's like, if you've got this daughter or this son that doesn't know how to manage money and they just piss all of their money away on the dumbest stuff and you give them millions of dollars, you're hurting them. You are literally hurting them. They're going to bury themselves with that money.
Yeah.
They're going to get themselves in such a bad way. Loving them is waiting until they're ready. They know how to handle that money. They know how to, and that's what Jesus does, man. If we go to him and we pray for the things that we need, not the things that we want, like he will provide us every step of the way with exactly what we're ready for. And then once we accomplish that, we figure it out. We become better at handling money. We become better at handling the flock. We become better at handling this area of ministry. We become better at handling this or that. He will open up the door for us to do more because we're ready for it. But he loves us so much, he's not gonna give us more than we can handle ever. And
I think he actually does give us more than we can handle. That's why you have to go to him. You have to go to him.
He's not going to give us. Yeah, he's not going to give us so much that it topples us, right?
Yeah.
But he will. Yeah, he will give us. He gives us what we need to learn what we need to learn to get to the next step.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like this. I always take it to like working out analogies where that if you want to get strong, you're not going to have easy things to do. You're going to have to do things that are difficult. That's how you get strong. So that's kind of like in your spiritual walk, is that if everything's going well and it's easy, then who needs to be strong?
Dude,
if everything's easy, like you're not going to give you light things. Sometimes he's going to give you heavy things. So he's going to help you. He's going to be your spotter. He's going to get you through it. But yeah, that'll make you strong. And, so I think that
if you pray to become a man or woman of God, which is a noble thing, and we should all do it, he will give you that. But I'm telling you, what he's going to do is he's going to shred you to nothing first.
Well, that's how it works. I mean, that's how you got to break the muscle down in order to grow back, right?
Literally.
That's
build
exactly
that firm foundation and then go from there. He takes everything away that he didn't give you and then adds everything back that he wants you to have. But praying that prayer is a righteous prayer, but just be prepared. It's not going to go the way you think it is. You're going to be beaten to a pulp, and then you'll be rebuilt in his image, which is beautiful.
It'll be worth it.
Amen.
But yeah, I think that's a good way to end it after we got into some dark stuff. And of course, I want to reiterate that we're calling out false teachers, false prophets today, and we're not saying we got everything perfect in our life, and we're not above correction either. But I want to say that we pray for these people. We don't know their intentions, and I'm not going to question people's hearts over here, but I will question their methods and, based on what the scriptures say. And I would just say that we pray for these people. This is definitely not a call to go attack these people in comment sections and stuff like that. So I want to reiterate that. But also, we go over some dark topics, and we do always want to bring it back to the gospel and that salvation, as I like to True Christian Ministry put it, today is the day of salvation. If you don't know Christ, I pray that you'll cry out to him today. And I pray if you need any help trying to navigate that, please message us, DM us. So I just want to say that, I appreciate you guys hanging out with us. Once again, you guys are the best. And if you guys want to watch these episodes early and uncensored, you can check them out on Patreon. Got lots of new stuff on there. If you want to support this podcast, again, check out Modern Roots Life. But guys, we really appreciate all you do for us. We love you. God bless y'all.
God bless.